Good morning, St. P's. It's Mr. Sullivan again. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Children's Homily for Sunday, the 22nd of November. It is Christ the King Sunday, so we're definitely praising Jesus as our King over all. The gospel reading today is from the Gospel of Matthew, and they're reading that in the big church now, and I'm going to read it for us from a version of the Bible called The Message, which I really like. I hope you do too. So listen to this story from God's word. When the Son of Man finally arrives, blazing in beauty, and all his angels with him, he will take his place on his glorious throne. Then all the nations will be arranged before him, and he will sort the people out, much as a shepherd sorts out sheep and goats, putting the sheep to his right and the goats to his left. And then the king will say to those on his right, "Enter, you who are blessed by my Father. That's what's coming to you in this kingdom. It's been ready for you since the world's foundation. And here's why. I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was homeless and you gave me a room. I was shivering and you gave me clothes. I was sick and you stopped to visit. I was in prison and you came to me." Then those sheep are going to say, "Master, what are you talking about? When did we ever see you hungry or feed you, or thirsty and give you a drink? And when did we ever see you sick or in prison and come to you?" Then the king will say, "I'm telling the solemn truth. Whenever you did these things to someone overlooked or ignored, that was me. You did it to me." Then he will turn to the goats, the ones on his left, and say, "Get out, worthless goats. You're no good for anything but the fires of hell." Why? Because I was hungry and you gave me no meal. I was thirsty and you gave me no drink. I was homeless and you gave me no bed. I was shivering and you gave me no clothes. Sick and in prison and you never visited. Then those goats are going to say, "Master, what are you talking about? When did we ever see you hungry or thirsty or homeless or shivering or sick or in prison and didn't help?" He will answer them, "I'm telling you the solemn truth. Whenever you failed to do this to someone who was being overlooked or ignored, that was me. You failed to do it to me." Then those goats will be herded into the eternal doom, but the sheep will get their eternal reward. And here ends the reading of God's word. So I hope you got that. I love animals. I brought with me a number of animals to show you. See if you can identify them. Okay, here's an animal. Everyone know what this is? Probably a fast running horse. You might see these out on a farm somewhere. What else did I bring with me? Ooh, this one is not from a farm. This one comes in like this from the ocean. It is a killer whale. He's pretty heavy and he's got a big smile with lots of teeth. I love animals. What else did I bring? Ooh, this guy has a cool rack of antlers. This is a moose. What else did I bring? Oh, let's see. This one's shy. He's shy. You can come on. It's okay. Don't worry. All right, here we go. Yes. He's the long-necked giraffe. I love giraffes. There's apparently a new baby giraffe at our Nashville Zoo that you can go and see. He's growing fast, so you might want to see him while he's still small, like a baby giraffe. Okay. This one is orange and has stripes and has some frosted flakes named after him. It's Tony the tiger. Yep. I like him too. He's got a cool tail. Who else did I bring? Oh, you might have one of these in your house. I used to have one in my house. Maybe we'll have another one someday. This is a dog. This is a golden retriever dog. Isn't he handsome? Or she? Beautiful. What else did I bring? Okay, this is another one from under the water, sometimes on the rocks near the water. This is a seal. I brought one more animal with me. This one is so fun because it has so many different ways you can describe it, right? Look at that. You could talk about his tusks. You could talk about his nose. You could talk about his flappy ears or his whipping tail or his tree trunk feet. I love elephants. They have so many different things going on. And they're fun to watch when they're drinking water or feeding themselves with their trunks. Well, Jesus talks about two kinds of animals, sheep and goats, right? In this story, he's talking about a king that is separating sheep from goats. And sometimes those are hard to tell apart. Sheep and goats have four legs. They can be fuzzy and furry. They kind of make the same noise. I think most of us would say a sheep says bah and a goat says ma, but that's pretty much the same thing. They have tails, they have ears, they eat the same kind of grass. Okay, so he's describing those two kinds of animals, but then the shepherd comes and separates those two. He takes the sheep over here and the goats over here, and somehow he knows the difference. And when the end comes for God's people, he's going to separate sheep from goats. He's going to separate people one from another, and some are going to go to his right, and that's where you want to be, on his right, and some are going to be on his left, and that's where you don't want to be. So the sheep go to his right and the goats go to his left, and we want to be on his right. And he describes what the people on his right did to be the sheep, the ones that he keeps forever and ever. And they are the ones that feed hungry people, that serve homeless people, that help people who may be in prison or may be sick at home and need someone to visit them. What's another thing? Oh, people who are thirsty and need something to drink. Okay, so those are things that come from a heart that's been changed by Jesus. They serve people when they see needs. And that's one way that God, even though sheep and goats look a lot alike and people look a lot alike on the outside, God can see into the heart and see who is got a soft heart from God to do that kind of serving and that kind of loving of others. I think that's very important. It's not an easy reading from the gospel that Jesus tells us, but it's an important one. And he finishes it by saying that when you do these things, when you serve someone who's hungry, someone who's homeless, someone who's sick, someone who needs a hug, someone who needs food, you're serving him. It's really that we're serving God when we do that. And it's like he's an angel sitting there in front of us that we can serve. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoyed my animals. Maybe I can bring animals another time to one of our children's homilies. I have more, believe it or not, but that was about 8 or 9 different animals. And remember the sheep and goats today. All right, go in peace to love and serve the Lord.